The early 2000s was quite a time to be alive. It's the era of the Y2K aesthetic, among other things. It's also the era of crunchy Nintendo, which is like my favorite, my favorite era of Nintendo. But most importantly, the early 2000s is renowned for its addicting, attention-drawing internet games. For many of us, we remember these things well because most of us was raised in that era. And don't sit here and act like we not, unless you was lying. Okay, because I see what age y'all is right there. Y'all the same age as me, but apparently male, but like more power to you, I guess. Anyway, I spoke to y'all about Fantasia in the past, reminding y'all what it is and what happened to it when I figured out that it shut down. Spoiler? I don't know. Go watch that video. That's still fucking crazy it happened. But anyway, I want to talk about the game that pretty much kept me up till like 4, 5, I think 8 once in the morning when I was a little kid, pretending I had a job at McDonald's, meanwhile refusing to work in fast food a day in my life for real. Don't be judging me. Habbo Hotel. No, not Hobo Hotel. Habbo. I know one of y'all just sat there and was like, Hobo Hotel, bitch. Anyway, Habbo Hotel. The big question being, what happened to it? So here's how it's gonna go. First, I'm gonna tell you what it was. Then, I'm gonna tell you what it is. So let's get started. Sort of like Vantage, I just suddenly remembered that this game existed, so naturally I went digging to see what I could find. According to Vice.com, it was the mid 2000s, specifically 2011, when Habbo Hotel saw its peak amount of users. At the time, they'd get as much as like 10 million monthly visits, which is fucking a lot. Self-described as a social world building game, they were basically one of the most popular internet games of the era. I mean, that I remember at least. And that position was not given by accident. From my recollection, Habbo Hotel had and still has a super distinctive look. Not only look, but like vibe. The usage of an originally dark interface contrasted by the bright pixelated wonder that was the Habbo Hotel logo and hotel itself created an intriguing design that drew you in upon first glance. Its consistency and its typography, or font language as I'll simply define it, further defined Habbo Hotel as not just a cool retro aesthetic game, but it also defined it as a brand. I won't bore you too much with the adulty, brandy, schmandy, mumbo jumbo. We can move on from that. As in the case of Habbo Hotel, their distinctive approach to designing around an aesthetic has really solidified their place in the world of internet games. But I just have to talk about the homepage real quick, just real quick. Okay, personally, and this could just be me, so you let me know like what you think about it, but I do feel a little unhappy, I guess, with the current look. Personally, I prefer the dark gray and black look to the blue one, although the majority of the page is a dark shade of blue, so I can overlook that. I feel like there's something about the login section that bothers me. Like, I feel like it's because of these big blocks of the logos, like for other sign-in methods. I don't know. I feel like those are just like maybe they could be reduced to just their icons, since Facebook, Google, and Apple are basically like the tech powerhouses of the modern era, and like everyone recognizes them. Everyone knows who they are and what their logo looks like. Maybe they could be stored in the like more ways to log in hyperlink. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this white bar. I feel like I'd like it better if it were a dark blue and maybe use a lighter blue for the text to like coordinate with what's going on elsewhere on the site. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I think I just really hate this transparent block thing they've got going on with both the login part and the page header. Like, I think I'd just prefer a solid block. Like, A solid dark blue block with appropriately colored text. I don't know, just my opinion, nothing more, nothing less. I've looked back through a few images on Bing, don't judge me, to make sure I wasn't imagining the dark aesthetic, but yeah, no, they definitely had it at one point, and low-key, I kind of wish they had it back. But whatever. I just can't pinpoint what year, but I mean, I'm basically talking about the classic Habbo Hotel homepage. But anywho, let me know what you think about it though, regardless of how well versed you are in the technicalities of design. Okay, so anywho, for real this time. The vintage retro aesthetic they had going on for the classic version of the Habbo Hotel website was simply fantastic. It gave you something to associate your Habbos with, particularly that big ass tower that was the hotel, and the bright yellow banner running across the top left corner with its ever so distinctive logo, Habbo. Moving on. I said it before and I'll say it again. Habbo Hotel earned its place as one of the most memorable games of the mid-2000s for a good reason. The reason being that the game was just fun. As a player, you had the ability to customize your Habbo, bringing to life whatever kind of character you want. Whether that's your OC, your mama's OC, Sona, or even a rando created by the program's character generating function. Beyond character customization, you can even customize a personal room or multiple rooms just as much as you've personalized your Habbo. Most of all, Habbo Hotel had the most attractive communication system. I mean, I might be hyping it up just a little bit, but basically, it's like you could talk to whomever you wanted, whenever you wanted. You could also DM someone and they'd reply. Well, so long as they were online, of course. It was a game that really made you feel like you were living the life, whatever life you chose, really. Found family tropes came to life. Like, I remember there was a room. So someone had a room back when I played the game as a kid that I think was like literally an adoption center. So I'm not even fucking around. Found family tropes like literally came to life. You got to live the life you wanted in the most dynamic way possible. It was an experience to have. You just had to be there playing the game. But eventually something began to shift in the next few coming years. Issues began to arise as the game was consistently updated. Long-established systems of barter between players changed, and not for the better. Many features that players enjoyed completely disappeared. And most importantly, Flash died. Let's start with the matters of the bartering system. Apparently, Habbo Hotel had an interesting thing going on behind all the mass RPGing and what have you. That thing in question was an intricate trading system between players. Keyword, players. Players would take valuable items and trade them with others for money. And I'm not talking like digital coins or Habbo money or nothing. I'm talking like real money. Like real American dollars. Or euros or pounds, etc. I didn't really get a good grasp of how comfortable one could become getting their side money from something like this. Like I'm not sure if it could set you up for life or pay your bills, but I've read of players trading items for like $1,000 or more, so evidently there was some money to be made from this kind of thing. But then, alongside other updated attributes to the game, the developers of Soooooo, if I'm saying that right, Soooooo? The developers of Soooooo decided to turn the personal, individual-to-individual trading system into a centralized one. Soooooo is a Finnish video game company that created other titles such as Hotel Hideaway, VMK, Mini Friday, Lost Monkey, and other social driven video games. Like, I guess that was like kind of their thing. Established in 2000, they're currently still in business, continuing their work on the Habbo Hotel franchise as well as Hotel Hideaway. Anyway, they claim that this change in the bartering system was done to dissuade people from external trading, but frankly, all it did was incentivize people to do it further. On top of that came higher taxes on uber valuable items, hidden sales statistics, plus a tax or fee, if you will, for whenever a player would want to withdraw money from their wallets, and we all know how fucking irritating that is. Long story short, like, this pissed people off, but it was only one of the couple of reasons Habbo Hotel began to see a steady decline. As the title card read, sometimes an update or additional feature to a product isn't necessary, or if nothing else, isn't all that well executed. Sometimes the update just ain't shit. In the retro version of Habbo Hotel, there were quite a few features that ended up being drastically changed or removed over the course of a few updates to the site. Features such as the ability to log in directly to the hotel, activities like Lido diving, and games like Battle Ball. Apart from features, Habbo Hotel dealt with some other things too, which I can blitz through relatively fast in the next section because, like, these things don't really need too much elaboration. So, sort of bouncing off of the topic of the bartering system, a game like Habbo Hotel was known for having a little nasty thing that kind of just came with the territory, that is scams. According to both Wired.co and MakeUseOf.com, scams were becoming more and more prevalent. That's not to say there weren't any scams before. There definitely was, but apparently even once trusted traders began to scam others as they tried to leave Habbo Hotel in the midst of its, like, terrible downward spiral. Plus, Habbo Hotel had a terrible approach to moderation. The approach being damn near no moderation at all. So not only did this make it relatively easy for players to scam other, likely younger players for things like personal information, passwords, furniture, or whatever else, but it also made it easy for older players to prey upon the younger ones. It's actually wild how this is like an issue everywhere across the web where people can interact and socialize. Like, it's almost like we just can't have nothing. But yeah, with little to no moderation going on for a very long time, plus the Habbo Hotel higher-ups kind of just not giving a fuck, if we're being honest, plus parents just not wanting to have to look over their child's shoulder from time to time to make sure they're doing right and that they're okay, and that little Jim Bob isn't telling a stranger online all of your credit card information. It's just inevitable that this would be the case. In the case of the Habbo Hotel staff and debatably parents too, I mean, it was basically like, and apart from grooming and predators, honestly, some people on the platform were just bullies. Like, I even remember when I was playing the game, back when I was a child, a mod or whatever chose to ban me until like 2025. Like, what the fuck? I got 2 more years to go, y'all. Oh, and plus there's the fact that Habbo Hotel, like a lot of other gaming platforms, had to switch to another engine due to Flash being discontinued, which I think I mentioned earlier. So yeah, Habbo Hotel ended up switching to Unity, but it was such a terrible build at the time that they ended up allowing people to basically play the same Habbo as before, but like through some kind of app, like an Air app, I think. However, they've continued running the game on Unity's engine ever since, and having fixed it up as much as they could, I guess it's fine now, but ultimately it was a rough period for Habbo Hotel. Now, as of today, Habbo Hotel still manages to get like 300,000 to a million players each month, so evidently they've survived the flop era. Nevertheless, Habbo Hotel is an online gaming franchise that'll likely survive plenty of years into the future. It'll probably continue to be a place where people can chat, play around with the concept of design, and ultimately express themselves and make memories. But for now, it's like, I mean, they survived, but they're still not quite where they used to be. Sorta. Kinda. I guess it depends on how you see it. And I mean, for now, it is what it is. And that's a wrap, y'all. Oh, and I just realized that they've changed the name from Habbo Hotel to just Habbo. So I've been saying it wrong like the whole time, but I absolutely refuse to change it in the script. So yeah, what do you think about Habbo? Have you ever played it before? And if not, would you want to give it a try now? Even though it's not really in its prime. Speaking of, what do you think Habbo can do to re-enter its previous glory? Let me know down below. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the like button and then subscribe to be notified for more. I'm XL Latrina, but you can just call me Latrina, and all of you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night.